Shinola is one of those watch brands that has a mixed reputation in the watch community. Let's talk about that. You should see how close I'm sitting to my steering wheel to get this shot. This is not, that's not what you do. Today I'm talking about the SHINOLA DETROLA with this beautiful limited edition multicolored dial. But first, let's jump into the brand. So SHINOLA is a Detroit-based brand. It was a shoe polish back in the day. By back in the day, I mean like 100 years ago type thing. And it was, I had that phrase, you don't know shit from Shinola, comparing poop to shoe shine. The brand went away. It got bought by someone else. They started making watches, leather goods, tons of other stuff. They've got a bunch of stores across Michigan, and then they've got some in like Jersey and New York. I think they've got one in California. They're not a ginormous brand, but they're not exactly like a small micro brand either. They train people in their Detroit facility where they build the watches, but all the parts are imported. They're Swiss parts, and they're also like Chinese parts and stuff. So when you're buying a watch from them, whether you're getting it at their outlet or one of their main stores or their website, you're buying an American brand in that you're funding American jobs that are built here. But they're not fully integrated here in the US. I wanted to support a US company for my third watch and decided that I really liked this when I found it on their website. This is the Detrola in a black with this beautiful dial that I just absolutely fell in love with. I've got two Shinola stores that are close-ish to me in that it doesn't take forever to get to them. I went to the Great Lakes Crossing one, asked them about this watch because it was sold out on their website, and they said no, they only sell it online, and that it wasn't coming back. The next day, I got a notification this watch was back in stock on their website, so the people in there weren't particularly informed, and I ordered it immediately. This was about in December, I want to say, of 2025. It was a Christmas gift to myself because this is a $500 watch. It's $495. I want to talk about exactly why the value proposition on this watch is particularly weird. Let's talk about the design. So, design language of this thing is just, in my opinion, spectacular. You have this fantastic dial with these horizontal lines going across. You have these very blockish, colorful letters, plain, squared off hands, a extremely round case with just these little, they're like barely lugs. They're not integrated into the case. They're actually screwed on the back here. You just got your spring bars in there like normal, quick release on the band that it comes with. And something about this design harkens back to, in my mind, early 20th century clock design. There's just, the vibe of this watch is immaculate. And then on the side here, we do have, I'll try to get some other shots of this if this isn't particularly in focus, the Shinola like electricity bolt logo on the side on the crown. Just from top to bottom, this watch looks so appealing to me. It is one of my favorite things about it. But let's get to the build quality. We'll start with the movement. So this is a very basic quartz movement. It is the Argonite 705. It is basic. It keeps good time, it's accurate, it's got that fantastic date window. I love having dates on my watches. I look at the date a lot. No issues with it. 1 hertz. Like, just, it's nothing crazy, but it's a $500 watch. You could get more out of that. I would like to see maybe a quad pulse movement. I would like to see maybe a self-winding automatic movement. Quartz is fine, but you can get basically the same quartz in a $60 watch, or much less. It's a complaint, for sure. That's not the biggest deal to me, though, because the rest of the watch is so beautiful. I can kind of look over that. So the case is composed of 3 parts. We have the back TR90 black resin. We have a middle, they call it a stainless steel mid case. Then we have the bezel, which is black TR90 resin, and we have the crystal. TR90 resin, in layman's terms, is very glossy, definitely not scratch-resistant plastic. This is basically a plastic watch. And then the stainless steel mid frame, as they call it, from what I can tell, is basically for structural rigidity. There's a stainless steel screw-down crown as well here on the side. That's nice. We like screw-down crowns. Works very nicely with the movement. No issues there. The bezel, I'm going to try to get some shots of this, is, because it's that glossy TR90 resin is not scratch resistant, and it scratches on blankets. Yeah, you heard that right. It scratches on blankets. I wore this to sleep the second or third night I had it, and when I woke up, there was a scratch on the case. It's more like a scuff, because it's not one line, it's like a brushing effect. Now, it is not the most visible on day-to-day wear because of the black. Unless you're in direct sunlight, you're really not getting it. It is still aggravating. It is disappointing. It is frustrating. If I'm looking at this watch for more than a few seconds, I'm probably going to see it, especially because I know where it's at. But for $500, you'd expect some better build quality. Even with glossy plastic, you'd think that there'd be some sort of hardening treatment. I don't know. And something about this, I don't know if you can hear that. The sections of the frame here don't particularly line up with each other. The bezel is a little tiny, teeny bit smaller than the mid frame, and then the bottom case, it's a little bit bigger. Little annoying, but it gives it a very interesting profile from the front. You kind of can see that little stainless steel halo around the black, which I do enjoy. It is just a little sharp and grindy. One thing also about the case, let's talk about sizing. It's 41 millimeters across, but it wears a bit smaller than that because of the fact that the lugs are so tiny and everything. It feels really good, and it's only 10.85 millimeters thick, according to their website anyway. Wears nice across the wrist. No size issues there. And then we get to the crystal. In a word, disappointment. So this is a sapphire crystal, and it barely feels like it. It barely feels like it. I don't want to say foggy, but every time you are in slightly mildly different lighting, it's hard to see the dial because as far as I can tell, as far as I can look at the listing, there's no anti-reflective coating on this at all. So even you can just see it here. Where are those horizontal lines? Those beautiful horizontal lines of the dial. Where are they? Gone. If you're in a slightly dark setting, like a medium lighting setting, you're probably not going to see the horizontal lines. You have to be like in direct sunlight or direct light hitting a certain way to where you're not actually getting the reflection of the light in the dial and into your eyes, because it'll just disappear. All that detailing, gone. I'm not sure what that's about. But sapphire, you know, it's gonna be a little better against scratch resistance, but it smudges so bad. This is the smudgiest crystal I have out of any of the watches that I own. Slightly brushing it, rubbing an oily part of your sleeve the wrong way. Maybe your shirt is a little oily if you're an oily guy. I'm a slightly oily guy, okay? I touch my forehead and then touch this, just a grease streak across it. It's always smudged and difficult to see the dial, which is the whole point of this one because it's the multicolor special edition watch. The lugs are fine, string bars are fine. Let's talk about this strap. So this is I think it's FKM rubber, but it is a rubber strap. Pretty standard. Got your little Shinola logo here on the bottom. You've got this kind of cool, actually, orange accent on the side. I don't really love orange, but with the multicolor dial, it fits. It's got this really nice rounded buckle here at the top. I have zero complaints about the design of the band because it feels immaculate. The finishing is like this slightly matte texture. Oh my God. Of all the bands and watches that I've bought, this is pliable, it is comfortable, it's possibly the best part. I would take this and put it on almost every watch I have, honestly. And that's the crazy part, they don't sell it separately. They don't sell it separately. It only comes on the Detrola. Sometimes they have like a yellow or like a coral red color on their website, but as far as I can tell, they don't sell this separately. And maybe they do in the stores, but I have not been back to a Shinola store since I bought this online. So I talked about the screw down crown. Does that give you better water resistance? Not really. 5 ATM on this guy. You know, the plastic case, that's not going to be particularly water resistant. You'd want steel for that, or titanium, of course. And something else that really bugs me about the watch, if you want to replace this battery, it will void your warranty unless you take it to a Shinola store. and get it done for 30 bucks. The warranty on the Detrola in particular is significantly worse than the warranty on the rest of their watches, which means they know that it is built worse than their other products, which is an insanely bad bummer because allegedly they have quite good customer service, especially if you walk into their store and ask for help with something. What are we doing? For $500, what you're getting in this is a TR90 resin plastic case with some slight stainless steel for structure, a smudgy, reflective sapphire crystal, a screw down crown that is just screwed down because it is, a beautiful case shape and silhouette, a beautiful enamel, I think it's enamel dial with applied indices, with no lume on the very flat hands, just terrible lume. Terrible lume. As bad as a Casio, doesn't last. I would like to see better lume on this. Lugs that look just so nice and sexy, and a strap that is one of my favorite straps that I owned. It is so incredibly comfortable. At $500, the build quality of this should be better. At minimum, there should be an anti-reflective coating. That's the point of the dial. It should be anti-reflective coating. That is the bare minimum upgrade this watch should get. However, I think a stainless steel case is very much in order for these. A premium Detrola made out of ceramic, a black ceramic, would actually be immaculate, but I don't think they'll ever do that. I have a love-hate relationship with this watch. It is the only watch out of my entire collection that I have considered selling on multiple occasions, mostly because of how easily it scratches. It is frustrating every time I look at it. When I do get a glimpse of this insanely beautiful dial and I look at that case silhouette on my wrist and I think about it peeking out from under a sleeve, or if I'm ever in a suit going to an event for whatever reason, I would pick this watch. It is so pretty. In fact, I like the dial of this so much, I have considered buying a Runwell, which is the step up from this. It's a $700, $750-ish watch from Shinola. There's a version of it with a date that uses the exact same movement. I could transplant the guts of this into that case with no issues. Close it up. It'll be in a stainless steel case and it'll be the watch I want. It won't look quite like this on the case-wise, but that dial is really what attracted me to this watch. That is like a dream of mine, but that's a lot of bunts to spend on a watch you're going to immediately tear apart. Maybe someone can start making fake Detrolas or more fake Runwells with the date, and I'll buy one of those instead and transplant it in. Because there are fake Shinolas, believe it or not. At $500, I can't say that I recommend this really to anyone. You have to very much determine if you're okay with the lack of specs for that price, and if you're willing to get it for just the dial, because that's pretty much what you're doing. You're buying it for just the dial. You're buying it for how it looks, even though it probably isn't going to age the best because of the scratches. I would personally say go for a Runwell over this if you're looking at a Shinola watch. But, you know, if this really strikes your fancy, get it on a sale, get it secondhand. It's hard. It's so hard to justify spending that type of money on a watch with specs and, in my opinion, straight up issues like this. If anyone from Shinola is seeing this, I'm begging you, please redesign the Detrola with some better specifications, anti-reflective sapphire crystal, stainless steel case, maybe a ceramic case on like a high-end model, better water resistance. There's just gotta be something you can do to make this a better value proposition for most people. Because I think that Shinola has a lot of potential as a brand, and on the low end, it's just not working. If you want more watch content, I'm going to be posting reviews here, hopefully weekly, until I'm out of watches to review in my collection. And I'm going to start doing shorts as well. I put up a short recently that was me unboxing my wrist check, this watch, my first San Martin, my first Chinese kind of micro brand, if you can even call it that, watch. Feel free to, of course, follow me here and on TikTok for that. But I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course, Twitch, twitch.tv/SkullHQ. That's all linked down below. And also, of course, I don't know how I left this out, my gaming channel on YouTube as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'm sorry if this was long-winded, and I will see you later. Take care.